wanted to go over really quickly the different options you have for the mechanical in the hotel room. You have a PTAC, a VTAC, and a VRF, right? So if we look at the PTAC here, it's a package terminal air conditioner. So this is a window unit. You've seen them in hotel rooms many times. It's the least expensive, and although they've gotten better, they have a pretty significant aesthetic presence inside and outside. They're also louder because it's like having the entire air conditioning unit in the wall in the room. It is the least expensive because really all you need, it has the whole unit is packaged in there, so all you really need is electrical run oftentimes to it. And there's no ductwork. Sometimes there are issues with dehumidification. Some of the units have it, some don't, and the fresh air is provided by the unit itself, going through the wall. And again, the condenser's inside the room. So here's an image of an installation of one of those. You can see the electrical coming in, and then a detail of so just the windows actually sitting on top of the unit, and then the wall coming up below. And then the next one is a VTAC unit, which is not unlike actually an air conditioner you might see in your residence, where it's in a closet and it has a return air in the door there. You can see facing the other wall, and then the supply is coming out at the top. So a couple of benefits for this is that since the unit is inside of a closet, it's a little quieter, you don't hear it, but the closet does take up space in the room, and it does need to be typically on an exterior wall where you're still going to have louvers on the outside that get the fresh air and vent the unit itself. It is quieter, it's easy to maintain. The PTAC unit, you have to take it apart if you need to maintain it. This one, you kind of open up the closet and there's the unit exposed. And so it's a little bit of a step up typically from the PTAC. And then here's an image, sort of a few images of how that vertical unit might work. And then the next one is the VRF, the variable refrigerant package system. And it's sometimes called a pancake unit. You can see it here above the entryway of the door, which is a typical place for installation in the hotel room. They'll drop the ceiling above the bathroom and the floor, or in the entry, and put that unit in like a 12-inch space there. This requires separate exterior units, and they run the refrigerant lines in and use them to heat and cool the air. That can also dehumidify. Use it to dehumidify the outside air and duct it into the guest room through a separate system. The bonus is that the only thing that you have in here is a little blower fan, and the condenser is not actually in the unit. It's actually outside, and then the refrigerant gets pumped in, and the thermostat controls each individual units. So here is a version of that guy, right? So there's the outdoor unit and the pipes, and the refrigerant piping coming in, and the heat for different units depending on what is needed for those spaces. And you can see below that a couple of examples of the design, right? Sort of a transparent view of that unit being inset with the return and supply air, and another one below that. This is just a quick plan of a Revit HVAC model. And so you can see in Revit, you can actually go in and put in all of the ducting at the actual size. One thing we talked about, and you can see in these, is that you have the supply and return all sort of in one space here. In this particular installation, the mechanical room is here, so you have your fan coil unit here, right? And then your outdoor condensing unit here. The fan coil unit is the blower that forces the air into the rooms and supplies, so you can see these supply airs coming in. But you can also see the return air, right, is coming back. Return and an energy recovery unit that actually gets the additional energy out of that air and has a fresh air makeup here. One thing to note is that the fan cooler unit here, although it has a supply to each room, it also has a very large, return to many of the separate rooms. It has a very large return here, which is actually, interestingly, doing a similar thing to the hotel units, is that this space right here is actually a 10-foot ceiling, and this space right here is a 8-foot ceiling, and this, in the bathroom, this is actually a bathroom, has a 7-foot ceiling. And so what happens is this very large return air duct comes and sits in this furring wall and actually returns all of the air from the open spaces. And so you always have to think about the balance of the supply and the return. This is the schedules for all of those different individual units and the registers. And then if we go in, this is just a quick plumbing plan with the some riser diagrams and also the schedules. And then this is the power and communication plan from the electrical, where you can see the plugs and the data. And then this is the light fixture schedule from the electrical engineer. The dimensions and exact locations are typically going to be on the architectural or interior design drawings. And then the electrical will come in and actually spec out the fixtures and do the wiring for that. All right, so that's it.